Hey guys, I'm trying something new. It's me. So I've been working on this EVO build for quite some time. I dropped the engine out of the car without a cherry picker. Some things happened and I just didn't like how some things came out. So this is a fitting off the power steering pump off the top right here. So you can see it bolts in. There's an O-ring that goes in there. But this snapped. I put Gorilla Glue on it for the suction side of the power steering pump. I'm not too happy with the Gorilla Glue job. Don't necessarily trust it, so try something else. And probably later I'm gonna change up the lines to be something a little bit more Gucci, more premium, I guess. But for that mistake though, I'm going to change it and tap this pump with this right here. If you don't know what this is called an ORB fitting. ORB meaning O-ring base. There's an O-ring on the base right here. I have to tap it, and then after that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press fit this hose clamp on, or hose fitting. So this presses in permanently, grabs the hose, and prevents it from backing out. And then I'll just screw it on to the ORB fitting right here. But it'll seal like this. It'll look Gucci again. So we're gonna try something new, and hopefully this works. Okay, so what I've done so far is there's holes in here that feed the power steering fluid into this pump. What I've had to do is cover these holes with shop towel, just hoping that none of it gets contaminated into the power steering pump itself and wear it down. Otherwise, I'm gonna get a new pump and then just say, screw this and not go that route. But otherwise, we're gonna see, hopefully, the tap comes out good. The tap is right here. So this right here is a -8 to -6 fitting. -8 this side, -6 this side. I had to get a tap. The tap for the -6 is a 9/16-18. 9/16-18 is what's gonna fit this and thread that in there perfectly. I double checked, so what you can do when you're checking threads, I had to go get this from the hardware stores. You get the fitting, and then you run the fitting parallel with this, as if like you're running two screws together, and they're about roughly the same. So it glides on smoothly. You can't really see, it's hard to see, but yeah, if it glides on smoothly, that means they match. So what you can do is like also take a bolt, like right here, and kind of run it against the same threads. If they match up, they match up. I'm not sure if this matches up, but I'm just using this as an example. But yeah, you could try that to match the threads. But 18 is basically how many threads there are within an inch. So yeah, let's go ahead and thread that hole and then see if that fitting fits. Okay, so when you do this, you have to do this as straight as you can. Let's see if I can get a good angle. As straight as you can while it's going in, to make sure that the flange will seat properly. After that, you're just gonna run it through. Here's the handle for it. You just grab the handle and then you just twist it in. I've already done this. I'll go ahead and show you what the final result is. I did this at an angle like this, where I'm pulling it out and letting it kind of fall, so that the shavings don't just fall directly in. I put paper towel, well, I guess shop towel, in that hole and the other hole right there. And then after that, I cleaned this out with a rag. Do not use compressed air, because you will blow shavings into here. I slowly did it, and I used my finger and kind of pulled some of it out before I pulled the paper out. You pull the paper out last, so that it catches whatever residue that you're moving around with your finger. And then I kind of followed the thread pitch with my pick and just slowly pick stuff away. You see like that right there. I'm gonna pull that out in a second. But yeah, you do that. That's kind of how the threads came out. Pretty clean. I'll go ahead and tighten down the orb fitting so you guys can see what it looks like after. All right, so I've tightened down the fitting onto the power steering pump. This is what it's gonna look like when it goes in. After that, I'm gonna press this fitting onto the hose on the EVO in the engine bay. Hold on, let me show you. It's not going to be done yet. I'm still waiting on turbo and turbo manifold. But it's a little dark in here. My return hose is over here. I pulled the fluid with like a pump. Give me 1 second. All right, so this hose fitting is gonna get, well, that hose is gonna get fitted with this fitting. It's a little dark, but I'll put on the light in a minute and show you. All right, this is what the final product should look like. As you see, it's not the prettiest right now because the press fitting didn't necessarily press, because this hose, this OE hose, is a lot thicker than what the press fitting is, so it's gonna just have to have a hose clamp until I could get a different line to thread onto here. Then this will all eventually be stainless steel braided stainless steel, golly. And then this will be a different reservoir, and then I'm gonna have other hosing that'll be done eventually, but for right now, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. This will work. This will work ultimately. I have not tightened this down yet. I will tighten it down, that's why it's swiveling, but you get the gist of what's going on here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and have a good day. If you have any other ideas, I bet you can find other ideas to put other orb fittings on here. You know, there's a dime PSI that has like a quick disconnect, and I'm considering that when I take this off and change it for another fitting, and then change the reservoir. So yeah, you'll see what that looks like hopefully in the near future. Thank you for watching and enjoy.